Welcome back to the Gone for 10 show. I'm Tony. I'll be your host tonight. I am joined by the Larry Taylor. Larry, how are you doing this evening?
Mate, absolutely buzzing. I've had a glass of red wine after a long week. I'm ready to sit with you and talk some rugby league. We're only 2 weeks away from the NRL proper. And I got to say, it's been really enjoyable watching some of the trial games. I don't know the Manly player's name, and I'm sure we will obviously get to Manly. The center, what's his name? He is rapid. I think he might be faster than Saab. He's absolutely
Yeah.
ridiculously fast.
Yeah, they've got some pretty fast players. They've got a bit of faster squad. I saw a stat today and it said no one surely comes close to Manly when it comes to the fastest players. You've got Trebojevic, you've got Saab, you've got that centre. No one's catching them if they're opening space. You've got Garrick, who's got pace to burn as well. So,
Yeah, Gary.
well, Larry, you know what we're here for. We're here for that quick podcast. We're going to go through two teams' lineups. We're here for Brisbane. We're here for Parramatta. I did get a few comments last week saying, boys, you said you're going to go for 10 minutes and you went for 15. That's a 10 in the bin, but we'll try and make it a bit quicker today and we'll move straight into it. So, Larry, I'm going to go to you first. Obviously, we are going to review Brisbane. We have them both in 10th place. Just talk me through those ins and outs and why you went that way.
Tolutau Kola, by the way, is the Manly player. That was going to bother me all night. Wouldn't have been able to do this video. Let's talk about the Broncos. I've said 10th, and funnily enough, we seem to agree with each other. Reason I'm going that way, obviously, they had an extremely disappointing season, Tony. But you have to look at the ins. Look, the key one there, it's Adam Reynolds. You've written Adan Reynolds. You thought I was going to get away with that.
I just saw that then, and you just framed me under the bus. I reckon we would have got away with that one.
Yeah, you probably would have, but that's what I'm here for. Well, look, I do have a Middle Eastern heritage, so I'm gonna call him Adnan Reynolds just for the sake of this video. So Adnan Reynolds, signed straight from the depths of Beirut. Look, I think Adam Reynolds will be a phenomenal signing. He's one of the best halfbacks in the NRL, and what I think he's maybe not the best, but where I think he comes above the others is he's the most controlling halfback I can think of in the competition. I think he dictates a game extremely well. His kicking game is probably the best in the game. You could argue, some might say Nathan Cleary there. I tend to disagree. I think if you're purely looking at the kicking game, Adam Reynolds is perfect and exactly what the Broncos needed. After many years of, I suppose, trying to make Anthony Milford something he wasn't, I'm really struggling to fill that half void since Ben Hunt left the club. So I think he will be absolutely key. The reason I personally haven't said I don't see them making the 8 is I just don't see. Well, there's two things. Firstly, they don't have a renowned partner for Adam Reynolds, and I think that's a real problem for them. There's no clear, obvious choice for number 6. We've got, I think it's Kevin Walters' son. The name escapes me. Is it Billy Walters?
Billy Walters, yeah.
Would I be right in saying that? Yeah. So I can see Billy Walters. Now, he comes from the Queensland Cup, and all reports suggest he's solid without being absolutely brilliant. Gamble played a majority of games at 6 last season. He reminds me a lot of Josh Reynolds, very tenacious, an absolute competitor, an absolute bastard as well, I might say. I mean that with full respect. I personally have time for players who got a little bit of shithousery in them, Tony. But where they lack in the halves is genuine ball playing ability. If I talk about Adam Reynolds, like I said, I think his strengths is absolutely his ball playing ability, his kicking ability. I don't see him as the most natural ball runner, and I don't see him as the most creative half either. So I'm just wondering where are the points going to come from? I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Katoni Staggs. Now, as brilliant as he can be on his day, and I absolutely think there's state of origin potential there, he can't stay off. He can't stay off the physio's table. So, or the physio's bench, I should say. So whether he stays fit, there's talks he might fill in at 6. I don't see that happening, and I think it'd be detrimental to the Broncos. So for that reason, I think 6 is a massive gaping hole that I think they'll struggle to fill all season. The other reason is I think their pack is solid. There's not a lot of depth there, though. There's not a lot of depth in the backs. There's not a lot of depth in the forwards. So I really see them struggling, to be honest.
Yeah, I completely agree with you with everything you said. Obviously, another big addition to the team is obviously Kurt Capel. He comes in with a lot of experience. However, like you just said, they are losing, obviously, Xavier Coates, and that is a massive attacking weapon that they did have. So Who knows where the points are going to come from? And yes, obviously Reynolds can put the pressure on. He can get the repeat sets, but if there's
Can
no
I
one
ask
to
you,
obviously,
sorry to interrupt you. Let me ask you about their strike on the edges as well. Obviously, they lose to Vita Pengai Jr. Um, Now, you look at a player like Kurt Capewell. He's a great back rower. I really like him, and I thought he had a phenomenal season with the Panthers, and he did great in Origin as well. But you look at him; he's a workhorse. He's not the most dynamic back rower. You don't see him one on one beating players with a bit of pace or skill. He is very much your workhorse back rower. So again, if you look at their forward pack outside of Payne Haas, where's the creativity come from? Where does the strike come from? I just don't see it in their forward pack.
yeah, 100% agree. And obviously, even with Payne Haas, he's still young. So it's where's that maturity level? If they are on the back foot, is he that player that can move them forward? We see these young kids when they're in those enforcers roles, they give away stupid penalties and they put their team on the back foot. So obviously very interesting. We will go to our first fan question. Rob, I know he's going to be listening to this eventually. He wants to know, Larry, is it too early for Reynolds to be given the captain's armband? Is it too early? Does that show there's no leadership in that team? Or do they just go, you're the star player, we're building it around you, take it and let's run with it?
I think that it's twofold. Yes, you could argue there's a lack of leadership there. It is a fairly young Brisbane side. I think they are building something. There is a core nucleus of talent there, and they seem to continue to bring young players through their junior ranks. So credit where it's due. Now, what we've seen them struggle with is retaining the best talent. Now, I think with Adam Reynolds, he is a natural born leader. And look, your halfback is your general. If there's ever going to be a natural fit for the captaincy, I would think it's going to be your number 7. Adam Reynolds obviously comes with experience as a captain at the Rabbitohs. I guess the criticism there is from a fan resignation point of view. This isn't someone who has been at the club for a long period of time. So how does he, I suppose, command respect in the dressing room? I think he will, simply because of what he's achieved in the game. But there was, like you say, that there's no obvious choice. So I think Adam Reynolds almost has to become captain by default. And I think given his experience, he is a premiership winner. It's almost an easy option for me.
Yeah, completely agree. And like I said, if I was in those ranks, it probably would be Reynolds that you would go to. Like you said, the fans might not like it at the start, but once he gets a few wins, they're going to be on board and he's going to lead them for years to come. So we'll try and move on here because obviously we're going to try and keep it as close as we can to 10 minutes. And we're already 7 minutes into this podcast, Larry. So maybe we need to go for 10, but we'll move on to the Parramatta Eels. We've gone very contrasting here. You've gone third. I've gone sixth. I'll go first here. Purely, they came sixth last year, and that was with teams that had plenty of injuries around them. The Roosters came fifth, obviously, with half their squad out. Penrith are still going to be a powerhouse. Manly is still going to be a powerhouse. Souths, yes, they lost Reynolds, but I can still see them performing. And I look at this in and outs list, and I just don't see Parramatta building towards a better finish than what they did last year. So what are your thoughts on that, Larry?
Yeah, and you would be right in everything that all your commentary. The reason I'm actually going the other way is because now, look, I'm a bit of a romanticist is probably the wrong word. I'm a bit. I like to I guess fantasize a little bit when it comes to sport. Things aren't always as simple as black and white. When I look at this Parramatta Eels side, I look at the potential there. I think you've got Sean Lane, who's an absolute beast of a back rower, really underrated. I think he's got phenomenal potential. You've got look, the key is Mitchell Moses, and he's been highly maligned for a long period of time. You might almost say he's enigmatic, and you wouldn't be wrong in saying that. But he broke in a state of origin last season. I thought he played extremely well in what I would consider difficult circumstances. And I think he's an absolute star player, and he gets better season on season. Now, the commentary around him has been, when's he going to have his breakout season? I think he's been consistent. I think he's been improving year on year. And even when they went out in the finals, I can't recall who it was against right now, but it was a very...
I'm not sure what happened there, Larry. Keep going.
That's all right. It went right down to the wire. So I think Parramatta absolutely can challenge. I think with Reid Mahoney leaving at the end of the season, Papali'i leaving at the end of the season, it might be the Parramatta boys' last opportunity to really come together and say, this is our premiership window closing. We need to maximize our potential. So maybe I'm being a little bit romantic or fantasizing a little bit, but I truthfully believe they've got all the talent there. And you look at the spine, Tony. It's one of the best in the competition. So I think they've got the nucleus for a top 4 finish. It's just a matter of can they put it together.
Well, obviously, you did just mention that word that every team wants to hear, premiership. We do have a question that's come in from Chris Smith. Thank you for sending your questions in. Continue to send them in. Larry, he wants to know, and I don't think he can, but will Parramatta win a premiership with Mitchell Moses as their playmaker, as their halfback? Do they win a premiership?
I would flip that question and I would say if you're a club like the Bulldogs or the Broncos or even the Raiders, would you take Mitchell Moses? And the answer is absolutely yes. It's not just down to the halfback to win a competition. I think it's almost lazy that comment. And look, we're almost conditioned to think this way with the commentary, the shows we watch, the pundits who commentate on the game and I guess provide their own views. I think it's extremely lazy to say Mitchell Moses or Peter Sterling or Chris Sandow or Tim Smith and Brett Finch, whoever has gone before in that Parramatta number 7 shirt. It's almost lazy to say, can they win a premiership with that halfback? I'd almost go the other way. Mitchell Moses is a brilliant halfback. He's one of the best in the game. He's played State of Origin. Like I've said, he's performed in big games. Yes, he needs to do it more consistent on the biggest occasion, but I think he's done enough. He's demonstrated that on enough occasions to suggest he can do it. I guess my challenge to the Parramatta side would be rally around him. Can the whole club, can the whole team step up on the big occasion? It's been an issue for Parramatta since 1986. So we can't put it all on Mitchell Moses. Can they win a competition with him? Absolutely they can. But I think it's down to all 17 players who play on the day.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, it does go. A lot of pressure does get put on halfbacks. We're led to believe that by the media, like you said. But I think they have the talent that if they put it together consecutively come September, they're in with a chance. But whether it happens, who knows? But obviously, we'll see who's right at the end of the year. I've gone 6th. You've gone 3rd. We've both gone 10th for Brisbane. What was that?
Parramatta will finish 10th now, given we've predicted 3rd and 6th.
Well, 3rd plus 6, let's go 9th, and we'll still call it a win if they finish in 9th position, Larry. We'll put them together and we'll call it happy days. So obviously, we'll cut it there, Larry. We're a little bit over on time, but we have got better than last week. Is there anything you want to add before we jump off?
No, not at all. I hope just if you are watching this video, if you are new, make sure you do like the video and subscribe. We're obviously new in the rugby league world of things, but I'm confident in saying this. It's not an egotistical thing. I truthfully believe will be the best rugby league content you will find out there. And that's not to say just on YouTube. I think we can we can challenge the likes of NRL 360. I think we want to provide a different perspective, one that's more level-headed as opposed to maybe your angry personality or someone who has an unconscious bias. We're here to call it down the middle, but we will, of course, show a passion towards our teams because that's what it's all about. So get involved. No matter who you support, no matter your views, we're happy to hear them out. So come join us, or you can go for 10.
Oh, 100%. If you're not liking, you're not subscribing, you can go for 10, Larry, and we'll call it there. So I'll talk to you soon, and thank you very much.